we're looking at a property that would have a north arrow in that direction. So the site south is here, east, west, which is where the major topography and the beauty of the natural landscape exists for the property. Temecula Parkway comes in here, and right now pretty much dead ends. That's the starting point for what is anticipated to be by the community a new bypass road. And then 15 lives its life on the east side of the property. Old Town Temecula is right in here. The property that we're dealing with is outlined sort of by this underlying green line, connected to Main Street Temecula right here. So there's a nice symbiotic relationship between this property and the existing downtown development. The ridge line for the hillside here largely runs along a line somewhere in that area. We talked about Temecula Parkway actually being one of the natural access points from the south, and on the north, Vincent Moraga. And obviously, those things really want to be connected, and the city of Temecula has been interested in that for some time. So trying to find a way in which we can carve a beautiful road into the hillside in some sensitive way seemed to be a big part of what we wanted to work with in this design idea.
The city for many years had planned the western bypass to run all the way from the 79 all the way up to Via Industria. We think that this is better for the city, better for the hillside because it's much less intrusive. When anyone drives by on the 15 freeway, you see this beautiful mountainside up here that is what I would say monumental. And we want to preserve that. And we're using right here the bypass as our borderline for development.
If we were to look at a section of the property starting with Old Town and then consider that the project that we are talking about is living in an area something like this, the balance of the hillside that actually remains undisturbed is something on the order of this. The project we're talking about lives in about a 20% area, leaving 80% of the natural hillside undisturbed.
You have this beautiful hillside that has some great hills and valleys in it, and these draws, and hopefully that we could take advantage of those draws, to create areas here of separation, that we start creating neighborhoods.
Taking your cues from the national topography allows us to create separations that are necessary for housing units, but they're done with natural topography. They're not done with artificial walls. And along with that, areas of focus, which we politely call string of pearls, meaning communities gathered around a special space that's connected by access through the site.
Where we may have a park or a plaza.
Then to be able to create paths of pedestrian connection. And it allows you to get to this open meadow space and allows also other alternate paths from that meadow space to connect back down into historic Temecula.
And as you march on along in these villages, we have a complementary area here for civic use. Could be a university, could be a school, could be a hospital use that would be not only serve this community, but the greater Temecula community.
So this property in many ways is the greatest complement. We are creating something that is absolutely complementary to the existing condition. It's completely Temecula. One of the things that we saw in this plan was the ability to take, of course, care of things that are natural elements, like where wind comes from and where sun occurs in the winter and the summer. And it's also important that these feel like communities or neighborhoods. And so a rec center, for example, that might occur is in service to this whole area, including the existing fabric of downtown. But at the same time, there is a natural set of neighborhoods that feel individual, they feel connected via pedestrian path, they feel connected via vehicular path, and they have an absolute complementary attitude toward the existing condition of downtown.